Who I believe to be the true birthers of choosing beggars, it's entitled parents. Our first one is from Garbage Juice. So this happened just over a decade ago. I was around 17, working in the main mall in my town at a well-known athletic shoe store where everyone dressed like refs. It was my lunch break, so after scarfing down some greasy food court meal, I decided to head back out to the employee smoking area of the mall. A couple of minutes after I sat down, a woman, around 30, her mother, around 55, and her child in the stroller, around 2, came and sat by me with their lunch. I looked at them strange, thinking, of all the places at the mall, why here? With a child? Whatever, I guess. Not long after, one of them, I don't remember if it was the mother or grandmother, started yelling at me that I need to leave the area because I'm smoking beside their child while they're eating. I replied, "This is the only area of the property that I'm allowed to smoke." They replied, "Then put it out because you cannot be smoking beside my child." I replied, "Lady, this is the only area of the mall that I can smoke during my break. I'm not smoking inside the food court. This isn't my problem." Maybe not the best thing to say, but whatever. I was young and honestly, they deserved it. Keep in mind, this entire time I am in uniform. Before I knew it, the old woman was literally flying at me. She started trying to punch me in the head, so I grabbed her arms and held her down. That's when the younger woman ran up and started wailing on my head. I just sat there taking it. She was larger but could not throw a punch to save her life. For a few minutes. Then security came running out and separated us. No joke, these women started yelling and screaming about how I just attacked them and was blowing smoke in their baby's face. Huh? I told them that was BS and they had no idea who to believe, but were definitely more on their side. Thank God this older guy who worked at a mobile phone store around me saw everything go down. After everyone was just sitting there baffled, and obviously lit up another cigarette. The man came up to me and let me know he saw everything, and that he would be going to security right away to stand up for me. He said how insane it was, and offered more sympathy. Then I went back to work, my face very red from being hit, but thankfully no bruises. My boss asked me the fuck just happened, and I told her the story. She literally didn't even believe me. The cops ended up coming in about an hour later. Apparently the woman was trying to press charges against me. I was stunned. I told them who to talk to and watch the fucking tapes. Thankfully they did. Just before the end of the day, the manager of La Sanza comes into my store, letting me know that the woman was her employee. She got fired for assaulting someone on shift. The mall also banned her for the same reason. The cops came into my store asking if I wanted to press charges. I told them she probably learned her lesson, but I'd let them know if I saw her again. Thankfully, I never did. This just goes to show that entitlement is in fact taught and spans generations, because considering it's the grandmother in this case is the one that started everything and then the mother followed, I genuinely feel bad for that child. Hopefully they'll break that cycle of entitlement. This next one is by Flat Jammed Pancakes. Mother asked when she's moving in with me and my partner in this rich country. This conversation popped up in the wake of my grandmother's funeral. She was holding her plate of food and sat down next to my aunt and me in a couch. Very smug looking and kept smirking at people as if she's any better than them. Turned out she had it in her head somehow that she'd be moving to another country with me and my partner and our kids. Because grandma had passed away, so she'd have no responsibility like that, and she's retired. So she had gone around telling people how she'd be living a ravishing, retired lifestyle in a rich Scandinavic country free without having to raise any damn finger. She asked me loudly, "So when does my flight leave?" I asked her what the hell did she mean by that, and she said loudly so everyone can hear, Our flight back to your husband's country so I can live luxuriously like you promised me? I promised her fuck all other than never gonna talk to her again after I flew back. So me being me and my incapability to sugarcoat anything, I blatantly told her that it'd never happen because I'm not stupid enough to bring her dangerous ass around my children. The face crack of the century, let me tell you. My aunt and the rest of the room cackled. She then thought she heard wrong, so I repeated again. You're not moving in with me, and you can erase that idea from your brain, because you're a dangerous, lazy, greedy person, and I'm not about to introduce that type of energy to my children. She then threw tantrums, yelling and shouting about how she's entitled to move in with me and be taken care of by the family. I argued back that unless she was willing to find a place to stay over there by herself, find a job, learn a new language, and actually work again, then she would not survive. Because I have kids to take care of, and I'm not about to be taking my energy and time off them to cater to her lazy ass. She then went silent on me and refused to talk to me for the rest of the evening. Fine by me, fine by everyone else. They just had a good time giggling about how delusional she was. That's absolutely insane. Like, if you're not told something specifically, I don't even know how you can get that idea into your head unless you are that damn entitled, which just takes it to a whole new level. And our final one is from Covidcidence. This happened late last year. My 30s female cousin, 20s female, had been a bridesmaid in her good friend's wedding. She barely conveyed that sentence before my father, her uncle, 60s male, interrupted her with, "I don't have much experience with weddings, but," and launched into a 10-minute lecture about various workplace parties he had attended over the years. My aunt, 60s female, tried to interrupt the lecture, but my father got angry at her for interrupting him. He said, "You want me to shut up? My role is to shut up, right? I'm not allowed to talk at all?" Before continuing his lecture. You see, my father is entitled to interrupt others, but others are not allowed to interrupt him. My cousin resumed her story, but my father kept cross-talking. At first, he muttered under his breath, "Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Who cares?" and rolled his eyes. My cousin still continued her story, so my father cross-talked at my cousin's volume. "Oh, because you didn't know anyone at the wedding? Yeah, you didn't know anyone at the wedding? Sure. No point going to the wedding if you don't know anyone." My cousin asked my father to please let her finish, to which he responded, "You're talking, and I'm also talking. We're both talking. It's called a conversation." Indeed, my parents think that their constant cross-talking is conversation. He also told my cousin, "I'm just talking to myself while you're talking." So first, my father blabbered over my cousin's story with his inaccurate, made-up crosstalk. Second, a little later, my father recounted that my cousin said things that he, my father, actually said. "Cousin said she went to some wedding even though she didn't know anyone at the wedding." I'm used to my father's constant eye-rolling, cross-talking, finishing my sentences with false information, making stuff up, and pretending I said it, etc. My parents have both been like this as long as I can remember. I haven't had a meaningful conversation with either of my parents since I was 10 years old, so I never really bonded with them or learned to love them. I only see my parents in gatherings with other relatives, in-laws, or family friends. In defense of my cousin, I corrected my father. No, she was a bridesmaid in her friend's wedding. She knew the bride really well. My father predictably scowled, then barked at me. "What are you talking about? When did she say that?" My father couldn't outright yell because restaurant. "She literally just said that," my aunt confirmed. My father barked, "Okay, fine, whatever," stood up and stormed away from us, still muttering under his breath. In other words, the adult toddler picked up his toys and went home because he couldn't participate in a simple conversation. That's pretty sad that you constantly can just go through life interrupting other people, just outright being rude, but nobody can do that to you. I love at the end though, it just makes me think of South Park.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Or is it? Here's some bloopers.
Oh, because you didn't know anyone at the wedding? Yeah, you didn't know anyone at the wedding. Sure. No point going to the wedding if you don't know anyone.
My cousin asked my father... I don't know why that's funny. My cousin asked my father to please let her finish, to which he responded, "You're talking." My cousin asked... My cousin asked my father to please let her finish, to which... Oh shit. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.